Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unleash Her. I'm Roberta, and I'm your host for the podcast today. Today, I have a very special guest with me. I have my daughter, Paige. Hi, Paige.
Hi, Mom.
Thank you for being here today.
No
So, guys,
problem.
yeah. So, the thing is that the reason that I want to have Paige on here, first of all, is because a few years ago, something happened and it really changed my life and hers. And if it wasn't for this incident, I don't know where I would be today. So, Paige, I am going to let you tell everyone a little bit about your story.
Yes. So 5 years ago, let's say, was it 5 years ago or five and a
Five,
half-ish?
yeah.
Yeah. Um, I was in college at the University of Cincinnati, and I was going to school for health promotion and education. And that's where I found even a stronger passion for working with people, working especially with people in need. And then I actually found an even bigger passion of mine, and that was nutrition. So, yeah, I changed my major a lot of different times, and I always knew it would be something in the health realm, helping people, working with people, and health promotion and education is very similar to public health. And so I found a home there, and I was on the board of education for my major, and I was just excelling and working out and paying for rent and everything and just doing a lot of different things and enjoying my life too, enjoying my time in college and working several serving jobs. And it wasn't until my fifth year of college, the year that I was going to finish up and graduate, my second round of senior year, and I was leaving work one night and I was walking along a crosswalk and is what I was told. And a car hit me as a pedestrian and it knocked me unconscious for what they say is up to 30 minutes. And I suffered a skull fracture and in the back left of my head. And that came with bruising, swelling, bleeding, all of that on the brain as well. So I spent time in and out of the hospital for the next 2.5 weeks. And that's where you were in California at the time. Yeah, doing hair extensions and traveling the world. And just you and I were just being business women and getting stuff done. And you got that call from my friend and you headed back to Cincy, where you found me at the first hospital,
Yeah.
UC. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was in California. I was having the most amazing time, but I'll tell you, that day I had sent you a text and I never heard back from you.
Yeah.
And so it kind of left me with this feeling like, what? That's not like her because you always responded. And um, so I got the call and I had to come back not knowing any idea of what was going on.
Mhm.
Um, I was just an empty nester and had just sold my house, moved into this amazing apartment. And
Mhm.
so I come back to see her in the hospital. And for me, the thing that I noticed too was just that you were acting like very adolescent, like just different. It was very different. And so, yeah, I'll go ahead and let you take the story back.
I know, like as you're talking, a million things pop in my head, and then I don't remember what I want to say next. But I know I was acting very adolescent, and it was shocking, jarring to my family and my friends. and it was something I couldn't control. Like I honestly just felt like a kid again. I had a severe brain injury, actually a moderate to severe. So there's mild, moderate to severe. I had a severe brain injury. And brain injury, some people, some doctors, that I've talked to a few recently who know a little bit more, but there's not a ton of knowledge and understanding and education given to the nurses as well as the doctors, but definitely the nurses too on TBI and what that can really look like and how it can differ from patient to patient. So we struggled severely. And I feel like we can't even go into that whole conversation. I feel like they just are going to have to get our book
Mhm.
because I can't sit here and talk about that. That would take the whole 45 minutes up. So I feel like I'll just leave it. Where do you want to touch with that? Because, I mean, obviously it was a life or death moment. And so I don't want to just like pass over that too quickly. But
Yeah, maybe that's another episode that we should do too, where we can go in depth with everything that we did and we tried and what we went through. So,
yeah, I
the
think
time.
that's like, yes, just having an episode just for that because our book, we tell our story and it is really traumatic. And I think people need to read a story, a comeback story like that too. And then also in there, we put a lot of support groups and all different types of information for patients and caregivers of TBI. So, think we definitely will have to go back to that whole story.
Yeah, I do too.
Because we wrote the book, because we're 5 years out, like we said, 5.5 years out. And we wrote that book. When did we dropped that in year 3 or 4?
Um, 3, I believe, right?
3. Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
So that was all of our growth. I mean, that was like 3 years of thousands of doctor's appointments for me. Like, I mean, I went to hundreds and hundreds. I went to hundreds of physical therapy appointments on top of talking therapies, on top of vision therapies, on top of CT scans, MRIs, CAT scans, like I said, X-rays, all of that. So it was just nonstop work
Yeah.
recovering.
Yeah. Very, very confusing time. And so that was why during this time, I mean, gosh, I look back now, um, we struggled so much and I did not understand. And I was in a support group, which gave me a little bit of understanding, but it also sent me on a path. And first of all, I'm really so grateful that you had that background in health and nutrition
Yeah.
because it started me on that journey too. I mean, you had been vegetarian for how many prior to your accident, and I think that helped you too recover from that. I think it helped you.
I I truly feel that way.
Yeah.
Truly feel that way. And we all know, you've seen the documentaries, it's not just about being vegetarian will change your life. It's, like I would never ask anyone to be vegetarian, maybe just like decrease your meat intake, but even more so than that, decreasing processed foods and just I cooked all through college. I mean, you can ask my roommates. I lived with girls,
Seriously.
guys. It didn't matter. I was in there singing and cooking.
I
I mean,
know.
it's me through and through. It's always,
I remember visiting you, and I was like, you are like the only one in here cooking, and I
yeah.
was just so proud of you.
When I lived in the house with, I think there was like 5 or 6 of us. I don't even
Mhm.
know, probably
Mhm.
6. And I think I was like the only person that ever used the kitchen one time, and I used it every night. I would go to classes, work, the gym, cook. party a little, but I mean, I was very structured. And yeah, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because I would just, I mean, even when I lived with everyone in the house, the boys downstairs, I just sung my heart out cooking every night. I think they're like, who is this girl?
Oh,
Who is this girl?
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So
I think it definitely had positive. And so let me say right now, I introduced at the beginning health promotion and education and how that's, I didn't get to say it's preventive medicine. And so, yes, like we work with, public health is working with sick people and people of lower income and things like that. But my specific health promotion and education is more preventive side of public health. And that's where, I already had my passion for nutrition, but it grew so much. And I definitely am an advocate for healthy eating as preventive medicine, even for something like a traumatic brain injury. It can really help your recovery and can help you get as close to healing your brain as possible.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And so before that too, like you've always been fairly confident and outgoing in everything that you did,
Mm.
right? But then after the accident,
Yeah.
things
Yeah. Well, I remember well, I was just in an accident. We need to talk about that too. So this will just show how this relates. Um, 3 months ago, I think. And yes, I have a shoulder injury, whiplash. I actually suffered another concussion. This would take all day. We're never going to be able to unleash her if I keep
yeah, right.
talking about all that. But the low self-confidence, the gaining weight, the going back to your bad habits, your bad eating habits, especially for me, that's my worst. And even like going to PT, both times I was like wearing an oversized t-shirt. And especially 5 years ago, I was not all there at all. And I mean, it takes me today, like everything I've been successful of, but still to know like I was not all there 5 years ago. But wearing just like so low self-confidence, like wearing this huge t-shirt and walking into physical therapy, especially 5 years ago, but even the one that just happened, and how I don't know, you just really do go back to your bad habits and you can feel very isolated and very not like yourself. My confidence dropped significantly. And I've worked really hard the past few months building it up here the second time. But it lasted a very long time after the severe brain injury 5 years ago. I would say I was so confident. I feel like you and Jake were even like, she's not all there, but she's still walking around like she's that bitch. Like I'm confused. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I just feel like I've always it's not even so much outside looks, it's just loving yourself on the inside. And I felt like it made me very adolescent after the accident 5 years ago. But I feel like I've never fully grown up. I've always still stayed a kid, even without the accident. So I feel like that's where a lot of my confidence comes from, is just I'm the type of person that will go swing on the swing set. And anytime I walk by kids, I always talk to kids. I think kids are great and so much fun, and they're free and they say whatever's on their mind. So I think weirdly enough, a lot of my confidence comes from just still feeling like a kid and still feeling free.
Yeah, I love that because, Unleash Her is about being your authentic self too. And
Yes.
so you've really helped me with that. So what happened after the accident was, you had to like take a take a little leave from college and things like that for a while. And during this time, you began like writing music.
Yes, we're getting to that point. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
So
tell us a little bit about that.
I think like you're talking confidence wise since I was younger and I did music and dance and gymnastics and every sport a girl can do in the town we were in. And I just I think a lot of my confidence came from like you let me decide like what I wanted to do. And I don't know, it all came pretty naturally to me. And I think that boosted my self-confidence a lot as a person. And one of those things that I did was music and dance, tap dance, ballet, jazz, um, hip hop, all of those. I did all those classes.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it
music
was so
helped and
important. And I
yes,
read to you guys all the time, and I felt like it was so good to just introduce you to like all genres of music and even played a lot of like classical music and things like that. So to let you kind of decide where you wanted to go on
yes,
your path.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I feel like, I'm watching this documentary on pro golfers right now, and they're like, as a kid, for Christmas, I got my golf clubs, I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, yeah, I got a microphone. And I loved it. And I was gifted and I could hit every note without knowing how, with no one training me how to sing. And my friends and I would make up dance routines. And like I just watch TLC's documentary and I watch other music documentaries. And they're always like, yes, I grew up like being in charge of like creating these dance routines and things. And that's exactly what I did.
Yes. And you grew up singing at church.
Yes, of
So
course.
that was kind of where it began.
Yes. Yep.
So you've always had a love for music.
Always.
But I mean, what led you to like just start writing music or turning to that after your accident?
That was the pain for sure. That,
Expressing yourself.
yes. It was journaling. I'm going to a poetry night tomorrow. It was poetry. It was journaling. It was whatever song, whatever you want to call it. It was therapy. And I always say, I hate to say this, but yeah, all the songs I wrote in the beginning were so sad and
Yeah.
gloomy. And it wasn't until finally the first release, which is no longer out there, but I knew right when I wrote it, Tell Me You Love Me, love song. I was like, yeah, this is the first one I'll release. And we've just been writing music since about
Yeah.
all different types of things. So I have a song coming out on this new album. It's called Hennessy, and it's actually about like people having anxiety. It's like creating awareness. So we have a lot of different topics.
Yeah. Hey, remember the first song I think you put on YouTube or something?
Oh my
What,
gosh.
what was that?
Amazing Grace was it? No, 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 no. It was a Christmas song like Oh Child of Mine or something like that. I don't
Uh,
think either of those were right.
I know. We'll think of it here in a minute. And you came back to me and you were like, "Oh,
The,
somebody's."
the day before the day before Christmas, Christmas Eve. I told you this on Christmas Eve. What did I say?
You're like, somebody said you can't sing or something like that, right? Wasn't that it? Like they responded to you, they gave you this comment, and I'm like, well, I mean, here's where my tough love comes in. And I'm like, well, if you're going to put yourself out there, you need to understand that you are going to get some backlash. And so
Absolutely.
I think that was one of the best lessons, like just
That
letting
was
them brush it off.
the first comment too. So God was like, we just got to give it to you straight, honey, because like if this is the first song, say you're gonna drop 1,000 more covers or songs, you're gonna have to know how to take some dish
Right.
and
Yeah.
just understand what it really means.
Right. And be confident enough in your own skin to be able to say, well, I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
I'm okay. And this all led to like an album.
Yep.
So in this journey, you're finding who you are. You go back, you finish college,
Yes.
and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
wait, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna sell elderberry syrup and I'm gonna work at this wellness center, not 9 to 5. And I was just like, yeah, no. Like I did my internship, which was a blessing, but again, just not my life with American Heart Association. It was like a very high up internship to get. Like it was some serious, I think I was the only one in my class or one or two of us got
And
it.
I want to say you've always wanted to help people. You would put yourself out out of everywhere. Like you would be the first one to run up to help someone. I mean, I saw that on your birthday a few years ago here when somebody was
Mhm.
needed some help and everyone else was walking away from the person and it was your birthday
Yeah.
and you were there. Like you've always had such a big heart for helping others.
Mhm.
So is that part of your thing with this, with your platform and your brand? And what do you
Yes.
want to do with that?
Well, I try not to try to make everyone happy every day. You know, I have so many different things I talk about on my platform, but the people, my biggest fans, my people who watch me the most know, like it is a full circle, health, wellness, fun, include everyone vibe. Like it's just, I mean, that's really what I talk about every week is all different types of topics, but just really living your life and being happy and being a kind person and taking care of yourself and celebrating and having fun. And that's my brand. I thought of a way to say it and I didn't write it down. That's just me trying to go to bed every night. It was like, I don't even know. I'm not even going to attempt what it was, but it was like three things, three categories. And it was,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So during this time too, you're building yourself back up. I started cooking healthier and I'm still making changes all the time. Like this is a continuous thing that you do. You keep learning. And so, but during that time, you had to kind of go back and find like your confidence and through self-love and you spent a lot of time alone.
So much. More than it would make anyone crazy.
Yeah.
How much time I spent alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said, and what was it? You were like, I'm going to learn to love me
Mhm.
however I am. And if they, right? Isn't
And if
that,
people hurt me in the past, present, future, it's no bad blood. Wish you the best. I mean, you have to really straighten out your mind. And it takes time. It
it does?
will not happen overnight. And just like success of being an artist will not happen overnight. I always say this, I want to say this on stage one day. I will
Yeah.
receive my Grammy and say, it was not a sprint, it was a marathon.
Yeah.
I really, it's just hard work and dedication. I said that on my live video on Instagram yesterday. That's what I just tell young artists and I tell anyone about their life, whatever you're trying to achieve in life, you're just, yeah, you just got to stay focused.
What advice can you give
Mhm.
people for building their confidence?
Okay. Um, affirmations.
Mhm.
Affirmations. You don't need to read off a piece of paper. You can just, I like your outfit today, Paige. Like your makeup looks good. Look in the mirror, say, wow, you're beautiful. It can just be as simple as those things. And another thing, it's whenever I'm doing interviews, I always talk about like things I'm currently watching or whatever. I'm watching again these pro golfers, and it really is so interesting how their negative self-talk, when you are an individual that has a brand or a business too, like you will continue to eliminate self-doubt and self-negativity talk. And so even with my music, even with all of this confidence, I want people to know every day I am still growing and learning and thinking, you know what? No, that wasn't nice. I'm being too stressful to myself. So it's a growth for everyone. Every day is a learning experience for everyone, no matter how far you've grown. If you're Rhonda Burns with The Secret, or you're Kathleen Cameron with the business and whatever it is, any artist out there, you know, you you always have to remind yourself of your love. You have to stay focused. You have to do all of those things. And when and if tragedy does come, you might take a hit and you're going to have to be able to get yourself back up again. So, I just think life is a journey, and you just constantly have to remind yourself of your love for yourself and get closer every single day to just really fully loving yourself, and just the negative self-talk, just keep pushing that away. And I'm not saying it's like terrible or anything like that. I'm just saying the more aware you become, and the more you grow, you see, oh wait, actually that was a negative self-talk. How crazy. After all of those positive things I just told myself, let's not do that one again.
Yeah. So in 2021, so this was almost, well, 2.5 years after your accident,
Okay.
I was really struggling, um and I never had that great of confidence. Okay. So and during this time, I hit a point to where I say I hit rock bottom, because I was about ready to just lose it. I couldn't help you. I was not in a good place. I was pissed off at the world, and I made some changes, and I decided to join this mentorship with through Bob Proctor, who was in The Secret, which we've watched hundreds of times. And I believe that was a huge turning point for our lives,
Yes.
because once I started to build my confidence and actually start liking myself,
Yeah.
I think that that really helped
Mhm.
with your journey too. So now we're on a path, and I decided to write the book and have you co-author it with me. Our book, She Looks Fine. And I was going to write the book on my own, but I wanted people to hear your voice too, because we were really butting heads. Like I did not understand. And people kept saying, well, she looks fine. And I was like, oh God, but she's in so much pain. Like
Yeah.
I can see it. And you're so nice that you don't complain.
No, never. Never.
Yeah. And
Yes,
part of me, I appreciate that, because I don't like hearing a lot of negativity.
absolutely. Only if you're really bad, then okay, let people know around you. But
Yeah.
otherwise, try to again focus on the positives, be grateful and things like that, and try not to talk about the lack in your head or out loud, because I think even talking out loud, if you're telling strangers about it or your people, I swear you are there is something about that magnifies it even harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Different subject, but
Right. And I'm
uh,
going to tell you, like, you will call me out
I'll
if I'm
call anyone out though.
okay. Okay. Okay.
I am a hard friend to have sometimes.
I'm like, oh my gosh. And now you should see, you guys. Like, she will not push me, but she'll be like, go on. Like I used to always make like hold, you know exactly what I'm gonna say. Hold the door open and let you guys go in first, my kids. And I really tried to build you up as much as I could. Um, and now I'm like, I have the confidence to go in first and to
Yeah.
speak to people. I didn't have that before.
And like even just in the past year, I'm like, go talk to this stranger, go talk to the bartender and get their attention and be strong and whatever it is, just walking in the door first, all of
Yeah.
that. And I think how you did raise us, it that also added to my confidence. And let me be very clear, me and my younger brother have always been confident.
Mhm.
That boy gives me a run for my money. Like he's made me want to get first place in everything my whole life. I'm competitive because of him. He's so confident. I'm so confident. And we both have outstanding shining careers right now. And where we were 5 years ago, it's so crazy to look at where my brother and I are right now. But the way that you raised us, it gave us a ton of self-confidence, but it also taught us manners. Like Jake and I, we we're good people. We help people in need. But at
Yes.
the same time, I know my worth. And so I think it's just like figuring out what that is to every person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't let people run over you. I mean,
Yes.
sorry, that's always a bad thing to say, but uh,
Right.
gosh, I'm telling you.
Yep.
Guys, please do me a favor. And if you hear anything from this, if you get anything from this, do not joke about, I feel like have been hit by a car or a truck or a bus or been run over. It really hurts us to the core
Yep.
when I hear that. And, you know, I know it's this saying that we just don't think about,
Yep.
but let's think a little bit before we speak.
And there's so many, like I give grace to people who say that because I truly believe like a whole person doesn't say stuff like that, but at the same time like there are so many wrong things and things that we say. So that's just one of them. That's one of them where I always picture, well, I did get hit by a car and I almost died. But even like how you just accidentally said, get hit. I mean, those things are just in tons of language. Like we all just,
I
but I
know.
mean, I never say that specifically because the reminder's 100% in my brain all the time. But I mean, I say things wrong too, and I try really, really hard to say the right things. So yeah. It definitely it definitely makes me think every time I hear that. So, yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot and I just try to be as kind as I can and as appropriate with my words as I can too. So, yeah.
Um, so you have your second album coming out
Yes.
next month.
Yes. In less than a month
And the crazy thing is, you've had some of these songs,
or a month, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, some of these songs already
Yeah.
recorded,
Mhm.
and you write all of your songs.
Yes.
Or,
Yes, we all I write some of them just by myself, but other ones I do collab with other writers. But they're all of these songs, my Hottie Red album, my debut album, my Sweetheart EP, R&B, my Fearless single about the accident, Through the Storm single, Wait for It love song single, all of these songs and all of these songs going on the new album Batty Blue, all of these songs have been started years ago. So some of them are more new, maybe in the past year or two, but a lot, most of all of this music started When I started my music journey, I bought a bundle of beats, and it's just really God's timing the way that it's all came out so perfectly. Like people, it just have came out so perfectly. People have just fell in love with them so well. Um, and I just don't think any of them have been released by accident. I just feel like there really is a time and place for all of these tracks. And so I'm excited for these next 10 songs coming out.
I am beyond excited. I love these songs. I want to tell you something. During this journey, I could have said, that's silly. Like, you're not going to be a singer. I could have said, you need to get a job, a real job, and that's how it's going to be. But let me tell you something, and I want all you parents, and even wherever you're at in your life, if there's something that you are passionate about and you have a burning desire, I mean, this is your calling, you've got to follow through.
I tell my people, like my family and friends, I'm so sorry, but like it's terrible. It's kind of a joke, but our joke's really a joke? No. My favorite times are when I'm on stage and when I'm on my live video. I have 30,000 followers and counting on just Instagram. So when I go live on there, and when I'm on stage, they're my best friends. My followers and my fans are my best friends. Like, I would not change anything. If you're part of my community, it means so much more than just rap music or just music in general. There's such a variety of things that I provide for people, and they give so much back to me too. And I could be in the worst mood in the world or the best mood in the world, and I get on there and I always leave feeling so um supported and excited and just grateful. So, yes, I totally go with your passion. And they say a lot of the time, if you are starting a business, a lot of people, we unfortunately not all businesses make it, but a lot of people don't actually have the funds up front. And people who start these businesses and even these restaurants and bakeries and things, I just saw this yesterday. A lot of these businesses put everything on a credit card for the first 2 years. And I
Yeah.
mean, they're buying a storefront, they're buying products, they're having workers work for them. Like it's crazy. Some of the biggest businesses in the world. I mean, it's common sense. Common knowledge. Some of the biggest businesses in the world, a lot of them have been started from nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
please go after your passion.
Yeah. Yeah. Go after your dream.
Mhm.
And it's never too late. I want you to know.
Yes.
I s- my life began after 50,
Mhm.
and I am loving life. I am now I'm a two-time author and motivational keynote speaker, life coach. Like, I'm like, come on. All
Yep.
right, let's go. I love this. And these are things that I enjoyed doing when I was young as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I decided a different path
Yep.
because it just wasn't for sure.
Yep. And it's still, and like God still gave you the gift of being an amazing hairstylist, but that wasn't the only gift he gave you. Like it's almost like, he predicts the future. He knew you were gonna go that route for a little bit, but you were gonna go back to your childhood traits.
Yeah, well, and I've always loved to read. As you know, I used to read to you guys
She's a
every,
huge reader.
and I read to you every night. And
Yes.
I loved, I volunteered at your school, at the library, in the library, reading story time. I mean, I loved it. And so how many years ago? 15, 20 years ago, I told someone that I wanted to write a book. And because I was in like book clubs, and I was like, I want to do this. I could do this. And they kind of laughed in my face.
Mhm.
And I never brought it up after that. And
Mhm.
to think that I ended up doing it after all these years just
And
blows
became
my
a
mind.
best-selling author
Yeah.
in 2 different countries.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we're here to say, look, unleash her. We all have that inside us. I believe we all have that something, a burning desire to do something, a passion, um, that we just don't know how to get there. And sometimes we need that guidance and that support and encouragement and someone to believe in us.
Mhm.
And that's where the mentorship with Bob Proctor and Kathleen
Right.
helped guide me in this journey. Like I had
You
no idea.
grew. Your personal development, wow. Your your confidence, your knowledge on just everything from confidence to universal laws to rich dad, poor dad, how that brings, your whole cycles you're stuck in your whole life. And you helped me become so aware of so many things. Yeah,
Yeah. And
wow.
because I really transformed my life,
Mhm.
completely turned it around. And look, I quit dating. I
Yep.
mean, I hadn't dated for years.
Yeah.
I was in an abusive relationship
Yep.
like 6 years ago. And I didn't realize how much it affected me.
Yeah.
And so when we're looking at things that we're handed and we're talking about, this horrific accident that happened to you, I'm never going to say that I'm grateful for that, but I'm grateful for how we handled it.
Yes.
Not at first. It was hard. We
Yeah.
struggled, and that's okay. That's understandable. As a single mom, as a single parent, trying to do all this sometimes is really, really difficult. But we made it through, and we're doing more than making it through.
Yeah.
And so I know that you are already inspiring
Hmm.
thousands, so
Yes.
many people
Thank you.
will continue to. I know it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, and this next
It's,
album,
I know. I know. I like it. I
you
like
guys,
it.
Batty Blue,
Yeah. Daddy Blue season coming up.
yes.
Body Red, it's the alter ego. Yeah, it's all of the things.
And the thing is, once you start thinking and you work with the universal laws, people come into your life and you look back like, whoa, how did that just happen? So,
Oh my
I'm,
gosh, who I saw yesterday.
yeah,
Lord.
yes. So all of these people are coming into your lives for a reason. There are signs everywhere. There are signs, there are people, things. You have to be aware and looking and listening and
Yeah.
just letting your intuition, which is God talking to you, just guide you and just take the next step. That's all it's been.
It's what were we just geeking out about last night? Okay, hold on. Let me try to say this because there's just 20 things on my mind right now I want to say. But okay, we were just laughing our butts off last night at the lessons. How God will give you the same lesson for 50 years. You'll have the same lesson for 5,000 times, until you learn it, until you grow past that. And like you and I sometimes very recently were like, I'm just having it's just so many weird days. And it's like, actually, those are positive days because you're creating different pathways in the universe. And so look at you, you're like, yes. You're
Oh,
just creating different pathways in this universe. And like your life is different. Different things are happening. You're talking to certain people, certain influential people, whatever it means to you and your family and your business, like you will be able to tell. You cannot just keep living the same life every day. Like you got to switch it up.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, the past few weeks, months, this year, it's been a shit show. I I feel like I have had
Roller
some
coaster.
serious contrast here. Okay. I have dealt with some things. If I told you, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
intense things. Now, this is what's changed. The the um the path, the trajectory of my life is because of how I handled that situation. Okay. I was at CVS. This woman chewed me out because I rung up something wrong. I was doing the self checkout. Like and did I, so did I get defensive?
Lucky I wasn't there.
No, but I handled that so well. Whereas the older version of myself, um,
Would have cried.
never, yeah, oh,
Okay.
probably. She
What,
knows me.
what
She
were you
would.
gonna say? Yeah, what were you gonna say? You would have what?
I don't know. I probably would have been, a little, yeah, giving her a little something back, but I didn't because I understood where she was coming from. Now, I do know my worth, and that doesn't allow anyone to walk over me. Okay. And so at the end, I kind of had a little conversation with her, which was really good.
Yeah.
But I mean, once you understand where people are coming from and stop like reacting. So instead of reacting to everything, we're going to respond. We're going to take a minute and we're going to find some compassion and some love and be understanding. And that's why our paths have changed.
Mhm.
That's why we know now it is an open door. The things coming in our lives will blow your mind. We're going to come back on here in a few months and tell everyone what has happened.
Yes. And just turning tragedy into triumphs. Like, just really, if you do go through a bad situation, just say, you know what? This was my second chance at life. And I think that this only probably happened because I wasn't living it right the first time. And I know like Melody Gardot, a
Yeah.
singer, she
Yeah.
had a traumatic brain injury. She suffered a traumatic brain injury and she started her singing career. And I mean, she's way up there,
Yeah.
Billboard charts, all of that. So I think you just really, if something so tragic has happened, I really think you have to reflect and go, what is God trying to tell me? And use that intuition, use that inner guidance.
Because you are here on this earth for expansion and growth. And if you're not doing that,
Mhm.
then you might be faced with something that will give you the chances to grow and to
Well,
expand. So,
let's just bring this up then. You know, that accident happened started my career.
yeah,
Started my career. Fast forward, this accident, again, she looks fine. Yes, I'm still going through some major things, and I've already seen a talking therapist. I've already gone to physical therapy, all of that stuff. Like we've already been working for months on this. But I'm telling you, that was another life or death situation. Like on the scene, I I really thought I was gonna die. I was awake this time, you know? And so I was like in a really, really, really bad place. And I can't even explain to you someone pulling out in front of the car that I was in and us hitting them because they pulled out right in front of us. The impact of what that felt like, I have never experienced that type of feeling. Like I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. And I couldn't move. It was terrible. And just that, I just want people to take that going away today too. Like this just happened to me the other day. This is serious, very serious. And how far I've came already and how far I've already seen. I started busting my butt to get this album done because my brother's been telling me, people have been telling me I've been releasing singles, been playing it cool, playing it smart. No, it's time to risk it all. You're going to drop that album that you've been holding on to. And that makes me emotional. But it was again, it took another accident to wake me up that much to push again to
Yeah.
this next place. And I mean, let's just all stay blessed up, stay prayed up that I continue to realize that and keep moving forward and not need such serious things to happen to feel that way, to feel that much emotion to push. I already wanted to drop the album. I immediately dropped Through the Storm, which has been released previously years ago that I took off, but I dropped that right after the accident. I mean, it lit a fire under my ass after this just happened. I said, as soon as I'm healthy enough, I'm getting on my computer and I'm going to drop this single Through the Storm. And that song is quite powerful.
Yeah.
People who have gone through any sort of tragedy,
Yeah.
traumatic, whatever. Um,
So
And
let
it's
me,
just, we're really trying to let people know, if you are getting this wake up call, and it can come in all different sizes and forms, you know?
for sure. I
It,
want, I want you to touch on
okay.
one thing,
Okay.
faith.
Yeah. That's why I tried to like, we are halfway through the podcast. I'm like, oh, why have we mentioned that yet? So I've mentioned it a few times. It's just,
But you
it's,
guys, this
it's
is a
real.
different
I don't
level.
know. I
Yeah.
don't, I don't want to say anything other than it's real.
Uh,
That's
uh,
really
This
like
girl
all.
has a different level of faith. I'm going to tell you all, and we all are able to get there. Okay. She gets up, she does her journaling and her you have your
My daily psalm. So I have read a daily psalm, a gratitude, basically, a daily psalm, different books pretty much every single day. Absolutely multiple times per week for the past 5 years. It doesn't matter. I went on tour with DJ Calvin to Texas, to California. I'm in there reading all my team, like the Daily Psalm, like these books get beat up because I take them
I was going to
everywhere
say
with
that.
me. They look terrible. Every year I've been recently getting a new one because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's traveled to Vegas and all these different places I've performed.
Yeah,
So that is one thing that's always kept me just aware of how important my gratitude is
yeah,
with the daily psalm. It's a huge, and a lot of us, we wake up. I'm not the type of person to check my phone right when I wake up. I would never, ever, ever like lay in bed and scroll. That's like the opposite. I might need more hours of sleep and I might wake up later, but when I wake up, like I get in the shower, I do my gratitude, I make sure I'm okay, I talk to God, like I do not just get on and scroll. And that's with as many messages as I do get every week too, and notifications. That's just something that it's just a healthy, clean way for me to start my day.
yeah. And it's not just about reading from from
Absolutely not.
a book, okay?
No.
It's not that. You have to carry that with you through the day,
Yep.
and you do.
I see signs all day long. I mean, I have my angel number around my neck right now, if everyone watching the video can see. And I see signs all day long. I mean, people I whenever I'm working, whatever I'm doing, whoever I see every day, I am supposed to be in their life for a reason. I am supposed to bring joy. I am not a mean person. I'm not a crappy person. Like, I try to make people feel good all day long. I truly believe every single person brought into my life every day, like, they're supposed to benefit me. I'm supposed to benefit them, whatever percentage, both ways that is. It doesn't matter. I know people that I see every day, God put them in my life for a reason. And I'm supposed to be communicating with them.
Yeah.
Um,
My goodness.
yeah. angel numbers, animals. Animals talk to me. All
You
that.
just, you live in the present moment.
Yes, the weather is like pretty much I don't even want to say pretty much. People are going to think I'm crazy. It is down to a T on my mood. Things are just so, yeah, I live in this, it's not even like I live in the present world. Is that what you said?
In the present moment. You live
Present
in the
moment.
moment.
I live in the spiritual realm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like I read stuff about this. Even the Daily Psalm talks about it. That's why when people really can't see how the Bible converts in all these different ways, it's so funny to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spend so much time in this spiritual realm. Like I'm just not all there in the physical world. Some days I don't have conversations I can give people online and all day and stuff like that. I'm like, I gotta ground, I gotta earth, they're telling me something. When you're an artist or I really believe you're an artist, because you're a podcaster and a lot of work behind the scenes go through all of the things that you're seeing. Um, where was I going with that? I don't know where I was going with that. What was
Um,
I saying?
I don't know, but I want to say you're so strong, and I've seen this, and I've seen where you can, I know that if you can be where you're at today and have this strong of faith that the people listening, my gosh, should feel so inspired and empowered by this. Okay. Because I know that you're never giving up.
Mhm.
And um, I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there
Yes.
is there any
Oh,
last? Okay.
no, it finally came back. I tried so hard. I was like, where is it? Being an artist. It was something about like being an artist and you and I really think of you as an artist too. And oh, this is what I was gonna say. So important. Sorry it came. Okay. When you are an artist, when you are writing your podcast, when I am writing my songs, I'm picturing myself performing them. You have to go into meditation. You have to go into the spiritual world because ideas come to you. You're not just in the physical world, like you're getting information from the universe. It
Mhm.
can't tell you that if you're staring at a TV or a phone,
Right.
which it can in some ways. I love Pinterest. It's all 100% inspirational on my Pinterest, and I can get ideas that way. But it is mostly from going into that spiritual mindset and really talking to God, saying, what's the next steps? What do you want from me?
We could dive into this one too, because I'm going to tell you what, I was always very masculine and work hard, and which, we hand down to our children. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what if you didn't have to work so hard?
Yeah.
Because now I know to stop and listen. And that's what you mean by going into the spiritual world.
Yeah.
Stop and just listen. Go into nature.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, you're going to get that inspiration and those ideas and whatever that may be. And then you do the work. Okay. And sometimes I get caught up and I do start working too hard and get frustrated. Well, go take a walk, So this is one of the things that I've really been working on. And you've always been so good at that. But
We've done both of our birth charts though, and both you and I both are higher in masculine than feminine.
yeah,
So
that's right.
even
Yes.
just in our
Yes.
birth charts. But yeah, then you have to be like, okay, I need more time in my feminine.
You've heard me, like I get a little upset if I haven't done anything, I haven't accomplished anything today.
Yeah. It's so funny because, people, they're like, maybe they're watching this video. They're like, oh, you got your nails done, you got makeup on, you're in a girly outfit, that doesn't necessarily actually mean feminine. It actually, this is a very masculine vibe right now. You and I are sitting here like talking and doing this podcast. It could be more relaxed, maybe if I kind of sat back and stuff, but no, the way that I want to get certain points across and stuff. So actually like it's business. It's actually um masculine.
Yeah.
So very
But
interesting.
right? But taking that quiet time, because I used to not do it too. I had the radio on, the TV on all the time,
Yeah.
all of these distractions. Now we've got all the this, that, everything. But I promise you, if you just take some time, take a walk, you
Mhm.
know, I take a walk, walk down to the river all the time. That is, oh gosh, that is our heaven,
Yes.
heaven on earth. And so do that and you will find the guidance maybe that you've been looking for, and you'll find those ideas and all of that. So that's one of the things that I really want to help people with, because it really hurts me to see people working so hard and struggling so hard when we don't have to.
They don't realize like how revved up their system really is. They don't know they're in fight or flight mode. Yeah.
Right.
And we
Yeah.
get in that too, but luckily we have
Yep.
the awareness now to get out of it. But yeah, some people are absolutely stuck in it.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Okay. Well, any last words? Because,
No.
all right,
Thank you.
I
Thank you
think,
for having me.
oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for being on here. And I'll have you on again and we'll talk some more about invisible injuries and traumatic brain injuries and all of the other things that you deal with and how you deal with those.
Yeah. Being
You
able
know,
to come on here right now and, with a migraine and just knowing, okay, well, now I have to limit my electronic. It's Friday night. I'm not going out tonight.
yeah.
Um, like I said, I'm going to poetry tomorrow. That's my weekend. I'm preparing for photo shoots and videos next week. So, yeah, invisible injuries, needing more rest, and sleep is your best medicine.
Yeah,
And that's the best thing we can say on here right now, right? If we're not
absolutely.
going through the whole shebang of the therapies, sleep, sleep, sleep.
Okay, so where can people find you?
Yes, please find me. Please come connect with me.
Instagram.
So it's in the bio. Yeah.
Yes.
I have a wonderful bio put together for you
Yep.
guys to check me out and know all the birthday bash and all these things that we've got to do. But you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, all at I am Paige Official _. That is where you can find me. You can find my music. You can find me talking about health, talking about meditation, and whatever other beautiful things I decide to talk about that day.
Perfect. Thank you. I loved the name Paige, and it's PAIGE.
Thank
And
you.
I just thought it was so beautiful that I had to name you that. And it fits you perfectly, doesn't
It
it?
does. It does. I just laugh every single day of my life. I'm like, I am Paige. I don't know. I am Paige official. I
Right?
just it cracks me
It-
up. People constantly, women are like, "Oh, I love the name Paige," and I'm just like, I am Paige through and through. That is so fitting to what I look like
yeah.
physically and oop, here we
Yep.
go.
You.
Physically and emotionally too. Of course, I'm getting phone call after phone call. It is the weekend,
Well,
isn't it?
okay, whoops. So yes, it is. Thank you again. And guys, check her out because I'm telling you, it's just she's amazing. And not just because she's my daughter. She's an amazing person through and through. Thank
Yes.
you, girl.
Thank you. Yeah, we got a song out with Pac-Man Jones too, and it's very exciting stuff. So we've been very blessed, and I want to continue to bless everyone too. So God
Yeah.
bless you all.
Yeah, thank you. And you know what? I want to help people too. And I want to help people find that path and to be able to live an extraordinary life. That's what we should be doing.
Yep.
So through my VIP coaching, one-on-one coaching, that's what I do. I guide you in that direction to find your true gift. What is your gift?
Yes.
And so reach out and let's talk. And I got to tell you, until next time, um, like my grandma used to say, so she never liked goodbyes. So I don't like to leave this with goodbye. And instead, I'm going to be just like my grandma and say, so long.
So long.